Hello, friends. Good evening to you. Welcome yet again to another Thursday episode of My Pool Space with your host, Kenton Augustine. And I trust that you are doing well. I trust you are doing fine wherever you are tonight. Now, tonight, war, oil prices, and your swimming pool. White salt pools might be the smart choice. You heard me right? So tonight, wherever you are, trust you had a fantastic day. Trust that you are keeping safe. Trust that you were able to accomplish all your tasks set out to do. And tonight you are at home and you are ready for tonight's episode. And tonight, we are going to be conscious of the times around us, the atmosphere around us. And I want to discuss something that many pool owners probably have not yet thought about. How a global crisis, thousands upon thousands of miles away, could affect the cost of you maintaining your swimming pool. That's right. How could a conflict halfway around the world affect your costs right here in St. Lucia when it comes to maintaining your swimming pool? So tonight, tell a friend, tell someone we are on, subscribe, share the live, share the live. It's a live, yeah, it's a live broadcast, it's a live program. So therefore, you can feel free anytime as we go along. Anytime we go along, feel free to simply ask a question, put it in the chat. Once we can, we will listen, we will answer your questions best to our ability. So tonight, with tensions rising in the Middle East, oil prices are expected to go up, gas prices and shipping costs will go up as well. And for small economies like us that depend heavily on oil imports, goods that is, could we expect higher prices if this war drags on, as it seemingly appears to be heading that way? Of course. And of course, with rising costs of shipping, manufacturing, so swimming pool supplies will be affected. Why? Because most pool supplies today need well, they're manufactured and they need oil, energy to manufacture them. And so today we want to ask the question, is there a way for a homeowner, a villa, an Airbnb, hotel, is there a way tonight for you to save cost on maintaining and running your swimming pool, even while prices may begin to rise around you? And so let's see. So tonight we want to examine if switching to a salt pool, or rather a salt chlorine pool, will be the right choice and the smart choice for you. Now, so pools normally, I mean, most people, you buy chlorine tabs, which is trichlor, or you buy the chlorine granule, or we say chlorine powder, locally, to shock your pool, right? So you are either using two things. You are either using chlorine tabs, or you are either using which is trichlor tabs, or you're using Cal Hypo, which is the powder you throw in to shock your pool. Now, these products, such as trichlor and calcium hypochlorite, are manufactured where? Not in St. Lucia, but they're manufactured overseas and they're shipped to us. That means pool owners, we depend heavily on international supply chains. Yeah, because everything in this country comes in, more likely is imported. Now, when oil prices rise, and shipping costs increase, it can directly affect the cost of those chemicals. In some cases, supply shortages can also occur. Now, for many pool owners, this means making frequent trips to the pool store to get chlorine so that you can keep your water pristine, sanitized, healthy for you to bathe in. Now, question is, what is a salt water pool? Now, a salt chlorine generation system, it works different from a normal regular chlorine pool. So instead of always adding chlorine, adding tabs every week, powder every week, ever so often, you only add a little bit of salt to the pool water. And that salt then converts into chlorine through a process called electrolysis. In simple terms, the pool produces its own chlorine every time the pump is running. This means that you no longer have to be heavily dependent on chlorine tabs or chlorine powder, which inevitably, if this, if this Middle East crisis continues and drags on, will increase prices and can also lead to shortages. So one way that a homeowner can save money in these times, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, is switching to a salt pool. So, question is, why can salt pools save money? And one of the big advantages is that they reduce dependence on constantly buying chlorine, which can translate into hundreds or even thousands of dollars per year. With a salt pool system, the main ongoing cost is simply adding salt, yeah, and you gotta, of course, control your pH with some acid. But compare, okay, so let me just give you a little breakdown. You may, um, let's say you're a homeowner and you want to buy some, you come to get some chlorine and you want to buy, let's say, 5 pounds of chlorine. Now, 5 pounds of chlorine, and we're talking cal hypo, by which we mean the granules. 5 pounds of chlorine can cost you somewhere around $90. Yeah? All right? So 5 pounds of chlorine can cost you $90. A bag of salt. So you have a bag of salt. A bag of salt is 40 pounds. Yeah? And that 40 pounds may cost you 48, 49, I don't know, wherever you get it from, it may cost you up to $50, depending on where you buy it from. So let's just say $50 for a 40-pound bag of salt. 5 pounds of chlorine can run you about 90 plus dollars, yeah? And in no time, you can use up that 5 pounds of chlorine. But guess what? With your 40 pounds of salt, that thing can stay in there a month, 2 months before you even top up the salt. Why? Because they work differently. You see, chlorine gets eaten up, when people go in there, you bathe, and then it has to attack itself and attack the contaminants. It gets used up. So it gets used up by attacking contaminants. It gets used up by the sunlight. Yeah. It gets used up by your backwash. It gets used up when you go in the pool and you leave the pool with water. You walk away with chlorine. Heck, chlorine. You're walking away with your chlorine, right? So so hear me again. You can lose chlorine by because the chlorine has to what it has to sanitize and attack any contaminants in the water. It gets used up. Sunlight, backwashing, cleaning the filter, splash it. People with their bathing suits and the clothes, chlorine goes away. Yeah? Whereas with salt, the salt remains in the water. Because remember, we are doing a conversion. So we are converting salt into pure chlorine. Okay, but guess what? That salt remains in the water. And so when the pump goes off, you get salt again. When the pump goes off, electrolysis happens. It converts that salt into pure chlorine, which sanitizes your pool. So a bag of salt can last you far longer than 5 pounds of chlorine, which you can use up in no time, and it is more expensive. And guess what? If we continue on this track we are now with this crisis, yeah, that chlorine can spike. As we saw in COVID-19, we saw how chlorine became scarce, there was scarcity, and the price was absolutely ridiculous. But those who have salt, they can save tons of money. So, what am I talking about? Let me show you some examples of some salt systems that you can buy, you can get. Yeah? Let's just break out the wire and let's just see what am I speaking about right here. So, right here, and so on the market, and by the way, at Royalty Pools, we have options for you. So you want to move salt system, it moves salt system. It gives you the temperature of the water. It gives you the salt content, salt level. Goes via apps. So you have move salt systems. You have the Pentair salt systems. Here's the internals of it. And on the side you can see a small screen. Um, and this particular system actually allows you a lot of automation. So you can automate your pump with this. You can control your pump with this. You can control your heater with this. Yeah, you can control your lights with this. Um, this is the Haywood OmniLogic, and of course, it's via Wi-Fi. So wherever you are in the world, you can dial in and control your pool. When it comes to diagnostics, the manufacturers can log in and diagnose your pool wherever they are in the IT station. So that's the Haywood system. And by the way, you notice that you have the small screen, which is your controller, and then you will see you have this white piece down here um, at the bottom. This is where the magic happens. These are called blades, yeah, the salt cell blades, and what they do when they are powered, they convert that salt into pure chlorine. Absolutely. Of course, you have an app as well, and then you have the autopilot system. The Purple evolve. Yeah, because again, app control. It shows you your salt levels, your salt readings. Another, these guys been around for eternity. Solid ecosystem as well. And you have also the Pentair system. Pentair have definitely improved on their iClaw. So you have the iClaw again. Info. Now you see Boost here. Now, all those machines carry a boost function. And what is boost? Boost is if you have plenty rainfall or you have a huge function at the home, you press boost and it goes into overdrive and produces chlorine for you non-stop 24 hours, 72 hours, depends, yeah? And and you also have the Jandy as well. Now Jandy also have a mineral component to it, so you have salt and minerals. So And we supply all of these systems right here at Royalty Pools. Yeah? So these are definitely systems that one want to get in. And by the way, if you have any questions, remember, you can drop your questions in the chat. Now, with the salt system, the main ongoing costs, meaning your daily running costs, is really and truly, I don't know, they're low voltage. So electricity, very, very 1.5 amps. They don't impact at all your energy bill. Very, very small footprint, very eco-friendly, very economical to run these machines. And of course you have salt. I says be, be, be not adding salt every week. No. The only how you can add salt every week is if your pool leaking and leaking bad. Because the more water leak out, the more you have dilution taking place, the more you have to put more salt in. If your pool is fine, it works absolutely perfect, trust me, you are bringing down your bill right way down. Now, why this matters right now, and during the time of global uncertainty, many products become more expensive because of increased what? Transportation and manufacturing costs. And for small island nations like us, St. Lucia, where almost everything is imported, these changes can be felt quickly. Salt chlorination systems offer pool owners a way to reduce reliance on imported chlorine products and create a more stable and efficient way to sanitize your pool. I'll say it again. A more stable and efficient way to keep your pool sanitized. What do I mean by that? When you when your pool guy throws in when your pool guy he comes and he just dumps in chlorine and he uses tabs and he uses powder. He is um, he's and if he's not someone who is trained and not someone who knows what he's doing, he's going to affect your other balances, which is going to cause you to have to get more chems to correct stuff. He's either going to affect your pH, he's going to spike it, or he's going to drop it. Yeah? And that is why a salt chlorine system, it gives you a more stabilized pool, a more balanced water. And apart from saving you costs, the benefits of a saltwater pool, if you ever bathe in one of those pools, right away you can feel the difference. In the chlorine pool, it is harsh. Really, the water is almost, it's almost like a hard, it's almost hard water. Very hard. Whereas in a salt chlorine generated pool, the water is smooth like silk. Mhm. Smooth as silk. It doesn't damage your hair. It doesn't affect your clothes, doesn't affect your eyes. The experience is far better. So apart from reducing costs in these uncertain times, a greater and better experience. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? And so remember, right now, and you may say, but you may ask yourself, do I have to go and change my pump, change my filter? The answer is no. We are keeping everything you have. We are keeping your filter. We are keeping your pump. All we are doing, we are adding on one of these systems. All we are doing, we are adding on one of these systems. That's all we are doing. We're adding on one of the systems, and it's a very easy conversion. Very easy conversion. Just add it onto your return line, throw in some salt, and you begin your chlorination. As I said, and by the way, let me just pause there. If you are a pool owner, or you're looking to get a pool, I must tell you, automation is going to be the way to go. You can't escape it. So it's just going to be how. My theory is that you're going to be almost forced to get automated because everything now with AI. So with AI and all these things, they are going to force you to get people automated. So you have a problem, they can dial in, fix it, and you're good to go. So, friends, if we have no question, and if you're a pool homeowner and you're tired of constantly buying chlorine tabs and dealing with the rising chlorine costs, it might be time to make a switch to a salt chlorine system. At Royalty Pools, we install and service salt systems, and we are always happy to help you understand more about what you're buying and what you're getting into. And you can definitely reach out to me, Kenton, reach out to us, and we will be absolutely happy to help you guys. So you can reach me at 484-2022, or you can drop me an email as seen on the screen and say, Kenton, I want to make the switch. I want to, I would say, take front, right? I want to cost proof my pool in these certain times. And one thing I've learned from COVID-19 is that every homeowner who had a salt chlorine generator pool, they saved tons of money. And even during the lockdowns, their pool remained clean, crystal, because they had their mini chlorine factory at their home every single day, generating putting out chlorine in their pool so it remains safe, sanitized, so they can use. So I want to thank you tonight for tuning in. Um, be safe, stay in tune, be informed, you know, of what's happening around us. And let's continue to do what we can to mitigate rising prices in these uncertain times. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and until next week, until we meet again, I say peace.